Hare Krishna guys, it's me, the old school monk, and welcome to another fascinating video here in the realm of old school RuneScape. At the moment we're going to go and do a little bit of a farming run, only instead of it being a farming run, we're doing a farming walk. I had this idea of doing a mindful farming experience and I guess we'll do that. The real question is, do I do the whole thing as a walk, or do I just because the walk from Canifis to the next herb patch is far. I think it's down here in Falador, maybe a little bit too far, but we'll just do it anyway. How is everyone? I hope you're doing well. I really appreciate you guys stepping up into the comments on the last video that we made, and it was really nice just to hear from all you guys after such a little break from playing old school RuneScape, and I've been kind of grateful for that, at least. I was watching a video the other day of Odablock training his rune crafting. If you guys are familiar with the old school RuneScape community, then you know all about Odablock. He's kind of a controversial character, you could say it like that. Some people love him, some people hate him. I personally think he's quite funny, and he's got a lot of skill when it comes to playing the game. But I was watching this video of him playing, what the heck? Don't come up to me like that. Stranger danger. Sorry, I'm supposed to be a peaceful monk. Yeah, I was watching this video of Odablock, and he's training rune crafting, and he's paying something like 120 mil GP per hour for runecrafter runners to kind of run the new type of rune which came out as a result of Yama, the Yama boss. What's this rune called? Aether rune. And he's getting like 400 XP per hour, but it's like an extremely click intensive, sweaty method of training. And I noticed that he was kind of really complaining about it. Like, he really was not having a good amount of time. And I've been watching a couple of his videos, and each video he says, okay, we're just going to do 2 hours of rune crafting, which for him is like a real austerity, like a real difficult thing. To actually be this dialed in and sweaty for 2 hours is like a painful experience. It's like a big sacrifice. Meanwhile, if you get him to go and do like risk fighting or deep wild wilderness PKing or some form of PVM content, then 2 hours for him will fly by. I'm pretty sure he does like 8-hour streams every day. But this experience of doing something that's very boring, intense, click intensive, and requires focus, it's a difficult process for him. Visibly difficult, You can watch it and it's like he does not like doing it. But he's doing it with the goal of maxing his RuneScape account. But just watching that video, I was just thinking about this idea of how when we do something that we don't want to do, then time has this feature of somehow like slowing down. So if you're kind of, I don't know, maybe you're doing something, if you're at work and you're doing a job that's really like you just don't like doing it, then time really slows down and you're constantly looking at the clock and you're just hoping for it to be over. Whereas if we're playing a game or we're doing something that we truly enjoy, it's like a flash and it's past. So I thought this is an interesting kind of phenomenon that exists in reality, how we perceive time in relation to our suffering or our happiness. And I was thinking, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, there's the verse that Oppenheimer quoted. It says, "Time I am, the destroyer of these worlds." And Krishna, who's God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he basically says that, I can be perceived, God can be perceived in the passage of time. It's funny, as I said this, I've looked on the mini-map and there's this icon this guy, Eliza, and the icon is literally like a clock. Is that a coincidence anyway? I think they're the speed questing people. But yeah, time is a way of perceiving God in the passage of time, and ultimately time is the thing that destroys everything in creation. So things are born, they exist for some time, and then they dwindle away and they die. So it's like that. As time continues, we as living entities come closer to death. We come closer to the end of our life. We come, and in that way, time is destructive. Time's destroying our material existence. And I was actually reading today in a book called the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is like an ancient yoga text. I was reading that time ultimately causes the end of the universe, and it talks about how all of the material elements sort of implode. According to like the Vedic version, there's some sort of stimulus which causes pradhan. Pradhan is this substance which contains all other elements. So pradhan is caused to expand, and expand into the universe. And then at the time of destruction, it again collapses into that form of pradhan at the end, and the universe comes to its conclusion. So now that's philosophy, but what we're talking about here is that time is the factor that causes things to come into existence and then to pass away. I remember I used to write a lot of raps, and one of the lines was, "Matter of the fact is the time factor shatters all the matter you're attracted to." Matter of the fact is the time factor shatters all the matter you're attracted to. The time factor shatters the matter you're attracted to. It's like, so us as human beings, as living entities, as spirit souls within a material body, are bound to this matter for a small period of time. Like even within RuneScape. By the way, congratulations us, we've got to the first herb patch, or the second herb patch. I just remembered we passed the Valamore birds, so maybe we'll have to walk back to Varrock. Have you got that much time to spend with me today to do a fully walking herb run? If you listen this far, make sure you write hourglass in the comments, just to keep it interactive. It's a thing I used to do, actually, get people to write in the comments. But yes, even within this game of RuneScape, it's like time passes, updates come out, and the methods and the things that we used to be kind of viable and good for us are no longer useful. Like even for instance, in my inventory I've got this bottomless compost bucket. When old school RuneScape came out, the super compost was the best, and you had to have 6 of them in your inventory to do a herb run. Things like this is the meta changes, and the thing that causes the meta to change is activities or actions that are propelled by time. Like we're all familiar with that word karma. Karma means action and reaction. It's like what's that physics law? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So it's like whatever thing we do in this world, there will be a reaction, and another reaction, and another reaction, and another reaction. Like if I say I love you, it makes you feel happy, and the way that you interact with the next person will be influenced by your happiness. And then there's a chain reaction of things that goes on. Action, I'm happy. Reaction, you spread happiness. Does that make sense? So it's like that. The thing that propels the action and reaction to take place is the time factor. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the time factor. So therefore, we can perceive God in the passage of time. We can perceive God in the passage of time. We can perceive God in the passage of time. Winter, spring, summer or fall. Sorry, I don't know why I'm singing to you, but think about that. Winter, spring, summer, fall. The seasons that take place within our kind of world are kind of symptoms of the passage of time. Our hair growing, our fingernails growing, these are symptoms of the passage of time. And really the purpose of a transcendentalist, the purpose of a yogi, or the purpose of a spiritual practitioner is to transcend this time factor and to not exist in the kind of cycle within the chain of action and reaction. So currently the majority of us are forced to act according to the different pressures which are upon us externally. And this is how karma works. We're propelled by our karmic destiny. So some people may find themselves in a situation where they're really good at a specific thing, and their skill in that specific thing causes them to kind of seek out jobs within that region. Well, okay, let's make it a bit easier. RuneScape. We were born in a specific time. We were born at a specific time, in a specific place, namely around the 90s, in a specific place which is like, most of us are from the Western world if we're playing RuneScape, either America, Australia, UK, Europe, generally. So we're born in this place and time, and because of various circumstances we're naturally drawn to play this game. And once you've got the RuneScape bug, once you're karmically kind of bound to this game, it's like really hard to give it up. Everyone says you never give up RuneScape, you just take long breaks. And there's a symptom of our karma acting upon us. Even if you want to quit, it's very difficult because the push of the material energy is so strong. And we think that we're the doer, we think that we're the ones that are choosing to play the game, but actually the game is choosing to be played by us, in a sense. Or the material energy is pulling us to act in this way. Like for me, I just have such a love for this game, the way it's built. Even the skill cape, like the way that this goes up on the shoulders. I remember when I was like 11 years old, I used to draw drawings of like people with this skill cape on. And I'd do that, the wild spikes haircut, that would be as part of the drawing. And so on. So it's like, we're really kind of attracted to this based on where we were born, whereas other people are not so interested. But as I was saying, the yogi or the self-realized person or the spiritual practitioner is trying to kind of transcend their karma. And there's a method of transcending the karma, which actually means to kind of spiritualize our karma. So there's the saying, if you can't go round it, you have to go through it. So sometimes the karma, I'm just going to teleport back to that patch as if we had come here along the way. Hopefully you forgive me. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you can't go around it, you have to go through it. So like, if you can't kind of transcend your karma, if you can't kind of give up your karmic activity, then the best thing to do is spiritualize it. So like you've heard of the Bhagavad Gita if you've watched some of the videos from me before, but the Bhagavad Gita is this ancient yoga text that takes place on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is in India, and basically there's a warrior, and he says, look, I'm trying to be spiritual. He doesn't want to fight. He's a warrior by nature, by his karmic pushings and pullings. He's in a situation where he has to be a warrior, he has to be a fighter. But he approaches Krishna, as we've said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or God himself, Krishna, and he says to him, Krishna, I don't want to fight, I want to be spiritual. I want to run off to the forest and I want to meditate and be a spiritual practitioner and kind of renounce these worldly attractions, these worldly attachments and so on and so forth. And Krishna says, no. You're a warrior by nature, so therefore you must stand and you must fight But fight for me, fight for God, fight for your higher cause. Don't fight for your own selfish kind of materialistic gains. So I guess for us the same applies. It's not a matter of like artificially renouncing those things that we're attached to, but rather we need to come up with a way to spiritualize those attachments, and thus do them for God. So for me, I'm attached to playing this game. I actually love playing the game. Like, in terms of my karma, this game is like the perfect game. It just really scratches a certain itch inside me. But I want to be a spiritual practitioner. I want to give up this kind of bondage of karma. I want to transcend time, and I want to kind of spiritualize my life. And so therefore, how do I do that? Well, one method that I've experimented with and is what you're seeing now, this YouTube channel, is, okay, let's play this game, but let's talk about spirituality, so that people can kind of benefit from the philosophy that I learned when I was in the temple as a monk. Now, this, as I said, this is an experiment, because essentially what I'm doing is playing with fire, isn't it? I need to somehow get up here to the farming guild. Anyway, we'll get there. Yeah, so essentially what I'm doing is playing with fire because I'm attached to this game. I love playing it. And from a material standpoint, the spirituality is quite alien. So it's like, my nature is actually, materially speaking, I'm not really a monk by nature, you know what I mean? It wasn't my destiny to become a monk materially. And so therefore, like, my material nature as a gamer can potentially override my desire to be a spiritual practitioner, if that makes sense. And it has happened where I've kind of started to neglect my spirituality and my spiritual activities because the game's just taken over. Sorry, just have a sip of water there. But I wonder if that makes sense to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking so far. If what I'm spitting is resonating with you on some level in some way. I'm really not expecting many people to even listen to this far, because the subject matter is quite niche. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, again, Krishna says, out of many thousands among men, one may be interested in self-realization, and of thousands of such men who are interested in self-realization, hardly one knows me in truth. So, simply put, that means it's rare. It's a rare thing for a person to be interested even in spirituality, and even of those who are interested, it's even rarer to find someone who's actually perfected their realization. So that's what I'm saying. These videos are not destined to necessarily be popular unless Krishna has other plans for them. But really, why I'm here is to speak to you specifically, you who's listening right now, because I've been sent here to do so. Like, my mission since I became a monk is to share this philosophy of Krishna consciousness, to share this perspective that the goal of life is not maxing out your RuneScape character. The goal of life is not to earn a massive bank balance, or the goal of life is not even to renounce your material situation. But in fact, the goal of life is to reawaken your lost relationship with God, to develop your relationship with Krishna, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in reawakening that relationship, then naturally your attraction for the material things, which on account of their being pushed by time will all ultimately end in destruction. As we discussed about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, time is the great destroyer. Time brings everything that we see before us to an end. Every atom that makes up the phone that you may be holding in your hand, or the computer that you may be looking at right now, every atom that builds the body that you exist within, every single speck of this, under the influence of time, will eventually cease to exist, you know, and especially not in the format that you see them now. 10 years ago you had a different phone, you had a different computer, potentially. 10 years ago you had a different body even, isn't it? There's a sort of scientific explanation that every single cell in your body, wow, look at this guy boogieing, never seen this before. Every single that looks so stupid. The reptilian lizard overlords are relishing the fire. Every atom in your body changes every 7 years. So it's not even the same body that you exist in. You know? So time will ultimately destroy everything except your relationship with God. Time destroys everything except your relationship with God. Destroys everything except your relationship with God. So that's the thing, is our relationship with God is an eternal relationship that's existed since the beginning of creation, since time immemorial. That's what they call it. So therefore, I think it's a special opportunity that we have, given that we have this particular moment in time where we're inhabiting a human body which has a amazing capacity to think and to consider ideas and to actually act on our ideas and our thoughts and beliefs. At this time, in this space, we've been gifted such a body that we can contemplate, okay, we have a relationship with God? Like, okay, what does that mean to me? What does that mean for me? Like, how can I understand that and apply that? Whereas, another thing the Bhagavad Gita teaches is that every single living entity is actually a spirit soul, is a spark of spiritual consciousness that's inhabiting a different body. Just pause the philosophy for a second. I just need to figure out how I'm going to get to the next place where I'm going to get. So I guess the next herb patch would be to come back to here and then somehow get up to Catherby. You know what? Let's just skip a little bit of walking and just go to Catherby now. Welcome to my crib, by the way, guys. I didn't know you probably didn't know I have such a swanky house. I've got my altar, got my little, whatever you call this, portal nexus. Let's go to Catherby. Yeah, but back to the philosophy. We interrupt this philosophy for a moment of RuneScape. But yeah, that's the thing. Each living entity is a spirit soul. So think about it, right? Within this room that I'm existing now, floating in the air, completely imperceptible to my kind of worldly vision, there's probably like thousands and thousands and thousands of different bacterias, all of which have consciousness, all of which are living entities, but they just have a very unadvanced type of body. So multiply that by the whole universe. There's billions and billions and billions of living entities, but hardly any of them are gifted with the capacity to try to kind of explore their relationship with God. They don't have the thinking power, they don't have the they don't even have like languages that they can speak in and write down and read, and you know. So I feel like there's a certain weight that comes with the power of having a human form. They say with great power comes great responsibility, and I think that's true. Like, we have this human form of life, so therefore we should take the responsibility kind of seriously and start inquiring into, okay, who am I? Who is this? What is this universe? What's the meaning of life? You know, because otherwise we get caught in that river of time, the ocean of nescience, the actions and reactions of our karmic destiny are just pushing us downstream towards the end of our life, towards destruction, towards death. So before we get to that point, we've got to use this rare gift wisely. You know, the unexamined life is not worth living. So we have to think, okay, how do I reawaken my relationship with God? And how can I do it in a way that's genuine and authentic for me, and not just some sort of religious dogma or some sort of turning up to a building on a Sunday. No, how can I develop an active relationship with that supreme person, with that supreme kind of spiritual consciousness, spiritual father? How can I do such a thing? You know, and that this type of inquiry is really the goal, you know. That is the meaning of life. Who is God? What is my relationship with him? Do you get me? I'm not sure if we've got any more farm patches. I feel like I've talked enough though. And I would love to hear your thoughts on what I've spoken about in the comments. If you got this far, then please type in Timmy time in the comments. I'm trying to think. I think there's one more. I'm going to skip to the last one because YOLO, you only live once, but not according to karma and reincarnation. Yeah, this can be the last one. But I thank you for gifting your time to me. You did have a choice. You had a choice to listen this far, and hopefully I haven't wasted your time, because your time is the most valuable commodity, isn't it? You can't buy back a second of time for all of the money in the universe. So make sure we use it wisely. And that's been a really nice, successful farm walk, not a farm run. I'm just going to sit down in my true tile square and bid you farewell. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's the Maha Mantra, and that Maha Mantra is the cheat code, left down up, right up, left down right up, cheat code to re-establishing your relationship with God. It's like a loophole to fast track that relationship. So if you learn that mantra and write it down, I'll put it down in the comments, in the description. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chant it and experience that relationship being reawakened forever and ever. Amen.